Believe It by Jamie Kern Lima. People say never to judge a book by a cover, and I've reviewed over 200 on this channel so far, and I still don't know how sound that advice is. Believe It, I hate to say it sounds a little basic, how to go from like underestimated to unstoppable. I don't mean to sound cynical. When I looked up what this lady's known for, it's not exactly a piece of cake. When it comes to Believe It, IT, Jamie Kern Lima co-built It Cosmetics from the ground up and sold it to L'Oreal for $1.2 billion. If you can co-build a cosmetics business from the ground up and sell it to L'Oreal for $1.2 billion, chances are you know something, there's something you know that most people don't. And chances are that something to many people is worth knowing. To go from reviewing Beyond Order by Jordan Peterson to reviewing this book, I thought it would be like the difference between taking a walk in the park and taking a walk in a volcano or something. But is this book really that basic? What if it's not? Masters are always going over the basics, but I don't know if basic's a good word. So let's call it even. If that even made sense. I'll put it this way, I don't want to think this book is basic. But what is there to expect? Is this just another one of those like motivational self-help books about being brave and believing in yourself and living your truth? My short answer is yes, but don't let that discourage you. What can we learn from this book, and what is her secret, and what did this San Rafael born entrepreneur do that brought her to where she is today? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Samuel, and I want to make self-growth normal. If you want to make self-growth normal, because I don't want to do it alone, and who doesn't want to make self-growth normal, then make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Writing down the chapter names, it seems like the book is about, well, different things that to the author are worth believing, or maybe not believing. Just beliefs to really dig into see your subconscious and really plant them in there. If you're ready to do some planting, because it's a wonderful time of year to start doing some planting, you may want to start now. This book is a part memoir and part manifesto where the author shares several of the deeply personal and professional struggles and triumphs and risks and lessons and failures and victories that helped her learn how to step into her full power. The business lessons in the book fundamentally changed her personal life and how she parents and loves, and the personal lessons she shares are keys to show how she built a billion-dollar business out of a simple dream. Chapter 1 is when your intuition talks to you, believe it. Something that's interesting to me about the book is that part 1 of 3 took up like over half of the whole book. But what's that one Alicia Keys song called? This Girl Is on Fire? Jamie started It Cosmetics for a reason that fundamentally, a lot of entrepreneurs begin business ventures. She had personal experience with a problem that she was then aching to solve. There were products that were bad for your skin that were being falsely advertised, and so many people who use them look absolutely nothing like the models in the advertisements. So how could she make a product? I think they began with contours. How could you make a product that sold successfully to those people that, mind you, actually worked? When she finally got her foot into the door of a meeting at Sephora, I'm not going to tell you guys what the meeting of the head of the meeting said to Jamie, but after hearing it, I was like, isn't Sephora considered like extremely overpriced by a lot of people? And aren't the products they sell not even that great? Also, what kind of risks did Sephora take? And what did they have to do to rise to success like It Cosmetics? Kind of makes me wonder. So I kept listening, and something I noticed was definitely the storytelling, which is kind of like Rachel Hollis's. It's not as polished, which is something I would maybe expect, because like Rachel Hollis primarily, aside from her social media presence, is known as an author, but like compared to Rachel Hollis, Jamie Kern Lima's the stories themselves, it screams like super business experience. Her sense of purpose was like the strongest sense of purpose I remember hearing in books like this one for a really long time. The last book that I remember that's kind of like that is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, that's saying a lot. Instead, I focused on fighting for women all across the country who deserve to see a new definition of what's inspirational. Women who, like me, have been told they're not enough, they're not thin enough, they're not pretty enough, which if you think about it is just about every single woman. Women who, just like me, have reminded themselves of those words so many times that they believe them, creating a prison in our own minds. Women like me who have wasted so much energy every day of our lives having this false sense that if we could just look like someone else, we would be happy. I'm not wasting my chance. The next chapter is believing where you come from doesn't determine where you're going. In this chapter, you learn about everything in her upbringing, from what happened to her sister Jody, to her father's alcohol alcoholism, despite his ability to show that he cared about her, to her problems she had with guys in high school and how these ultimately didn't define her future. The next chapter is believe in the power of embracing your truth. Hopefully you're seeing a pattern here with the whole like believe thing. This one talked about like her search for her birth mother and how she said that like it became sort of a search for her identity, which is kind of insane, and how her quest for where she came from, like it led to discovering what she was made of, and she applied this to the growth of IT Cosmetics, which is kind of profound. In a subtle way, a lot of this book is actually very profound. Like I said, this book is a memoir and manifesto, and with chapters like this, those two words really do blend together smoothly when someone's describing a book like this one. The next chapter is called Believe You're Stronger Than the Opposition, including Mean Girls.
4 for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco.
Another nice touch to the book is when she asks the reader or listener a question to invite them to relate to the story. Like, have you ever gotten bad news, like really bad news? You woke up the next morning and you hoped it was all a dream, and then you got horribly sick to your stomach when you realized it wasn't. When this one far more successful brand at the time started selling a product that was basically identical to something that IT Cosmetics was just about to launch, but IT Cosmetics ended up selling their product so much better. Why is that? I'll just leave that reason to the book. I can't just let every cat out of the bag. The next chapter is Believe in the Power of Your Microphone. This chapter focuses a lot on relationships and connection, and smashing that like button in case you haven't already. The way she spoke about her six best friends and the whole thing of like, you are the result of the 5 people you spend the most time with. What's really interesting to me and profound again about this is the way that like her 6 friends she's closest to, they all had like meteoric rises to the tops of what they do now, and it almost makes me think like behind the scenes we are not the product of the 5 people we spend the most time with, but the product of the directions in which the 5 people we spend the most time with are going. The next chapter is Believe in the Power of Authenticity. As it turns out, on QVC, like if I had $1 for every time I heard the 3 letters QVC in this book, I wouldn't be employed. A lot of the product presentations, it's like a shopping show or something like that. A lot of the product presentations are done by company founders, which the author explained can be really exhausting, but at the same time really, 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 really fulfilling. And she noticed that the presenters who like went on like this whole sales shtick every time they presented, they didn't last long on the network because they weren't that authentic. The ones who act the same on camera as they do off camera are the ones who kept selling and selling and selling and selling. The next chapter is Believe You Can Go From Underestimated to Unstoppable. This talked about like the L'Oreal acquisition of IT Cosmetics. The next chapter is Believe in Serendipity. This one's almost like universal. A lot of these are also very universal as well, not just profound. When I say profound, I don't mean like I was sitting with the universe inside my belly and I could feel the stars, I don't know, like getting ready for me to fart or something. It's not like some, college sophomore philosophy class or something. Again, it's very subtle. Like all the basic stories, there are subtleties behind them that make it seem or feel a lot more just kind of strange and beautiful than it would otherwise. Maybe it's the author's writing style, I don't know what it is. But this is an excellent book. Like it's much more of a memoir than anything else, but she wrote it in a way that's like it's impossible not to learn something from it. The next chapter is Believe in Being Brave Over Being Liked. A lot of B words there. But being brave over being liked is something you learn about in like a Brene Brown book. Brene Brown, who by the way, the author is a huge fan of, and quotes multiple times in Believe It. The next chapter is Believe Haters Are Just Confused Supporters. This is something you learn in a Rachel Hollis book, or if you want to get a little extreme, a Grant Cardone book. There are other times the author took to like acknowledge like, I learned this from Lewis Howes or Brendan Burchard, like both self-help authors. Or I did the 5-second rule, which I learned from the Mel Robbins book of the same name. But for me, it felt really refreshing to hear all these things, because it's like, if people who build billion-dollar businesses check out books like these, I must be doing something right. To hear that that's the case, like it makes me feel like I'm going in the right direction here, especially spreading these ideas. I just hope that other people are out there hearing them and trying to apply them to their own lives. The next chapter is Believe in Knowing and Living Your Own Values. This is about that one speech after which that beauty legend, these people are so annoying, slammed Jamie saying, "You're never gonna change the beauty industry. It's unchangeable," or something like that. And how everyone else she looks up to is like offended by what she's done. And Jamie had heard all sorts of criticism over the years, but this just like, it just like hit different. She really had to try not to lose her faith in people. You know those people who have like no faith in others at all? Like they just like kind of gave up on everything, and they gave up on the general public. You know, the people you don't really want to be around. The author of this book, Jamie Kern Lima, is not one of them, and Believe It really shows this. The next chapter is Don't Believe in Balance. It's a lie. How many girls need to read or listen to a chapter like this one? There's some advice in this chapter that the author really reflected upon that came to her from someone named Meg Whitman, apparently one of the richest women in America. In 10 years, Meg Whitman took eBay sales from $5.7 million to $8 billion. The author asked Meg Whitman when she got the chance, and it may sound like a crazy question, but like you could really feel Jamie's awareness of that possibility in like the moment when she was asking it, in between that and when she got the answer. She asked whether Meg struggles with like appearance or confidence in her appearance, her body, her weight, and like her image, because so many successful like female CEOs do. Does she? I was stunned by Meg Whitman's answer. Like, it's just like profound. It's kind of profound. It's like, it's a low key. A lot of this is low key profound. The next chapter is Believe in Giving What You Need. A truly rich life consists of like recognizing the beauty in the moments like the one Jamie had when she was meeting Michelle Obama on Michelle Obama's tour for her book Becoming, or when she met Oprah, who was always like her life idol. The next chapter is called Believe in the Power of Letting Your Light Shine. The next chapter is Believe in a Power Greater Than Yourself. Like, these are all things you've probably heard before, but again, the storytelling, the super business experience, if you will, the way she brings her insights to life, you can't read or listen to it and not relate to it in some way, and it's all just very relatable and authentic. That chapter is like, it's almost like beautiful, like what she's saying about like faith and God. It's the only chapter in the book that's like even like kind of religious, and for some reason I didn't really feel like anyone was like, it didn't feel like preachy or anything to hear it. I believe God is looking at you right now saying, wow, she is beautiful, she is my perfect creation, I gave her all those things that she perceives as flaws, but I wish she knew that she is perfectly made in my image. Like a proud father who delights in your talents and gifts, he sees every move you make as you move toward who he created you to be. Is she gonna put anything else out? Like, I feel like she should, but I know that Believe It is like a full life story of like insights on like business and faith and people and universality, but holy cow, I did not think this was gonna be what it ended up being. Quotes. Sometimes letting go of a dream is as important as knowing when to follow one. You didn't come this far to only come this far. Focusing on mental health and emotional wellness, seeking help and going to therapy isn't what's wrong with you, it's what's right with you. If you doubt that God exists, tell him, and tell him to prove you wrong. One day the people who never believed in you will talk about how they met you. The no's make the yeses that much sweeter. A company can sell something once, that's just a sale, but when customers love something so much that they buy it a second time, that's a brand. When your body's not doing what it's supposed to, it's really hard to not feel like a failure. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. Direction 1. I recommend this book for any business owner or anyone looking to start a business, especially someone of faith and or a girl. As weird as it feels to say that. For anyone who knows about what we call on this channel the religiosity scale, this book is a 1. I give it maybe a 2 because of the end about Jamie's like faith in that last chapter. Direction 2. If you like this book, you might really like Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis, who is also of faith. The religiosity scale on that book is also very low, and the 5-second rule for sure by Mel Robbins. Also High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. This book is also very focused on like life as a woman in America and like some of the emotional struggles that women face, not like more of like the political ones, but the ones about like appearance and like self-esteem and stuff like that. So if you're looking for something on like the more masculine side of embracing your sex or gender in like in a way that's kind of just good for your emotional well-being, I do recommend The Mask of Masculinity by Lewis Howes. The very uniquely conceptualized. Believe It by Jamie Kern Lima. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video if you want to check those out too. If you guys buy anything through the links in the description, then I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making these videos. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it. But hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't get why people watch this far into my videos and they don't subscribe. But if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to get a notification whenever I drop new videos, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere and I will see you then.